All right, guys, thanks for coming in. We got Tony, Patino, and Marco with us.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today. We asked you to come in because your guys' team did 106. How much? 162,000.
162.
162,000. And how long have you guys been working with Family First Life?
60 days.
60 days. So you guys came in 60 days later, 162,000 in issued premium.
Yep.
To your team, the few people that you guys work with.
Paid
Cool.
money.
So we're going to talk a little bit about what you guys been doing. Tony, we're going to start with you, man. What attracted you and got you to end up working with Family First Life?
Well, the big first few things that I could say is you own your own book of business. You truly own your business. So it's a conversation I had with you. You asked me, hey, what are some things that you're looking for? The biggest thing I said was, if I decide to come on board, is this an opportunity where I can own my own book of business? You said, of course you can. You work directly with the carriers. And we got into a conversation about that. And that's something that I didn't have previously, where I was told in my previous experience that I did get to own my own book of business, but I found that someone else had it, someone else controlled it, and the click of a button, it could be gone, vanished. So that was a big part of it, outside of the compensation, outside of the culture of you get to work. Because you asked me, how many meetings do you hold? You have an organization? I said, yeah, we have a few brokers under us. And you said, okay, how many meetings? I said, I don't know, we got like 50. An exaggeration, but we had a lot of meetings. And you said, hey, here we get to work. And that's what I really, really liked about FFL and the opportunity you guys have here.
What else? Anything about commission?
Oh, commission. So, we all like to get paid. When I first got started in the industry, we would get paid once a week, so 4 times a month. And then after a year, maybe 2, we started getting paid twice a week. And then you said, okay, how would you like to get paid every single day? Who's going to say no to that, right? Some people always said, it's bad if you get paid every single day by the carriers. You gave me a very weird look. And I said, you know what? This is only what I've been told. This is the first time I've ever been exposed to the industry. So commissions, hits every single day. Your direct commissions, your overrides, everything hits every single day. Outside of the commissions, also being able to work with a spouse, a significant other, they're able to use their own license as well, versus previously you weren't able to have the same contract. You weren't able to have as high of a contract because you were working with the spouse. So here I can see at FFL that you can work at the same contract, at a high contract, and really work your own schedule. So there's a lot.
What about leads?
Leads. So that's something that I've never been exposed to. I was always told that they were bad. But then again, we were always told by people that used to run leads back in the 90s or early 2000s. So just like the industry has evolved, just like cell phones have evolved, I've definitely seen, leads. How do they work?
And have you sold any?
Yes.
What's that been like?
At first, I was very, very nervous. So I've been in the industry 4 years. I was extremely nervous to just make the phone calls, right? So you get the leads. I didn't even know where to go to get the leads. And they're like, hey, go into the CRM. I was, just like a newbie. I was like, what's a CRM? What's this? Get into the back office, go into the CRM. You see the map where you see the red, the East Coast, the West Coast, and, click on it. You see the leads. So you see a lot of different leads. Of course, we asked, hey, which one should we get? We started with the new life leads. And then we got into the instant, which those are someone applies or asks for the information. And then from there, you're able to get it. You make the phone call and you book them. So
have you met anyone that it was just like a lay down?
No.
No, like a lay down, like they were ready to buy?
Oh, yeah. I believe everybody's a laid down. I think it's just we go in there with confidence. Once you get back on there, if you are from the industry and you are watching this, I would definitely say is that you might be nervous working leads for the first time, but as soon as you go in there, it comes back. It's like riding a bike. So you go in, we don't have to do a 20, 30, 45-minute, hour and a half long presentation. They want the information. They want the life insurance. Some, I've actually walked into a house. They were actually waiting for me outside. And I got there and they said, just come in. Here's my ID. What else do you need? Hi, how you doing? Like, no rapport. It was just straight to the point. So,
have you found that everybody's pretty helpful that you work with?
Oh, no, definitely. Everybody at FFL, from Eva and Deanna, our licensing coordinator. So she's very helpful all the way around. Josh and Alondra, who we work directly with, are very helpful. You're very helpful. You always say, hey, just shoot us a call. There's nothing I can say right now as far as like there's been difficult. I think we make it as people coming on board to FFL, we make it difficult by not wanting to make the calls or not wanting to buy the leads. But the investment it pays off 10 times. So
yeah. Now, what was it hard for you to make a switch in the industry?
I think it was hard for me, and I spoke to you about this. I think it was hard for me because of the attachment I had to the people that I worked with. It was hard as far as like, dang, this is who I was with for the last 4 years. This is who, I traveled with. This is who I went to open up offices. So that was the hard part about it. But as far as switching, making the transition, and you know my story, the transition was hard, but very, very simple. And here at FFL, everybody was welcoming. Everybody, even on social media, you can ask them questions. The people we've met from the sales seminar that we had in Bakersfield a few weeks ago, everybody started, just giving us information where we didn't have to qualify for the information. It was, hey, we're going to have a seminar, come down. And we got to hear from people all the way from Florida, the East Coast, the Midwest. So everybody definitely was helpful. Everybody answered questions, and I haven't came across anybody that said, hey, you can't talk to me, or what level are you at? They just, simply ask, hey, how long you've been with us? A month, 2 months, and everybody's extremely helpful here at FFL.
It's awesome, man. Well, we're excited to have you guys.
We're excited to be
here. Get
you
to $1 million a month fast.
Definitely.
All right, Patino, what's your experience at FFL so far?
So I got started about 49 days ago that I got officially appointed. But my experience was one night I stood up from 12 in the night to 8 in the morning because Marco Trujillo, he's actually the one that first recruited me to the industry, and he had made 6 figures in the past. So he had influence. He was a good friend of mine, and he had left to FFL, and I didn't know nothing about FFL. 2 weeks later is when I stood up that night from 12 in the night to 8 in the morning. I did not sleep. I was watching these videos. I was on the website. I was on Google because I was on your guys' Instagram. I was on the little story seeing they're talking about their closing leads. They're talking about daily pay. And I see the direct deposit to their bank. So I said, if people are showing you their direct deposit, you can't fake that. And it's not just a week, how Tony was saying, it's every day, every day, every day. So that morning at 8 in the morning, I messaged him. I said, hey, brother, I'm ready to get started with FFL. And he didn't even tell me at FFL. He just left. He's like, I wish you the best. We have good love for each other. We're brothers, we're friends, and take care. And I was like, all right, take care. And then I reached out to him because the opportunity, if you do your own research, it sells itself. And I got appointed the 19th of October. And in 49 days, I've gotten paid about $47,000 direct deposit to my account. But it wasn't always like that. When I reached out to Marco, I was negative $99 in my account. And I posted on my social media, it's up there, bank statement, negative 99. I have a month and a half year old daughter, right? I had some money, cash. And he told me, hey, look at this, what's going to be. This is the comp, and this is how it works. And I said, man, I'm ready. And I got started, and I started working. Even before I got started, I got my codes. I would watch these videos every single night. I would watch 2 to 3 videos just so I could get better and learn from the top producers that are making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. And, now we're here. I came with 0 people licensed. And we have about 45 licensed agents right now that are either getting contracted or have codes already.
So, and now how much money do you have? You had negative 99. How much money do you have now?
So I've gotten 47,000 deposited. I have about 36,000 in the bank, just in savings. I
in 40, how many days?
47 from the 19th of October. Today's the 2nd or 3rd of December.
How's that feel?
It's still so real. It's still for me, I'm still thinking I'm broke. So I'm working every day still.
Keep doing that.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I got my apartment in Long Beach, downtown Long Beach, with a beautiful view of the city of Long Beach and the beach.
So you got a new apartment. Where'd you live before?
Before it was me and my dad. My dad, I grew up with him. So it's just me and him, would tell it, in the apartment in Bell Gardens. So a small city. I'm from Los Angeles.
So you got your own pad now.
Yeah, my own house.
How's that feel?
It's an amazing feeling, definitely. And would tell it, and I didn't think it was gonna come this quick, but at the same time, I did. Before I got officially started, I had my vision board, and I had an appointment. I had a record breaking that I wanted to break records here in the company. I had that I wanted to make 80,000 by the end of December, and I'm almost halfway there, only $30,000 away. And I said I want to be a leader, not a boss, because in the industry, there's a lot of people that tell you to do something, but they're not doing it themselves. And a lot of people consider themselves a leader, but their agents weren't making money. So for me, I said, if I'm gonna come over here, my definition as a leader is helping these guys make money. And that's exactly what Tony and Marco helped me do, and especially all the producers, top producers, have taught me. Even though I haven't met them yet, they don't know it, but me watching these videos every night has helped me.
So what made you think you can make 80,000 in whatever 2 months?
Just doing simple math. Like if you sell $100 premium, and most people are at 100% comp, like that's $1,000 in commissions to your bank. So for me, my goal was, let's just sell $100 app a day times 30 days. That's 30,000. 60 days, 60, and 90 days, 90,000.
So one app a day.
One app a day, only $100 a month, and that's not including the bonuses that the company gives us.
What is that commission on average if you sell $100 policy?
$1,000. We're like nine something, a little under
that
9.
You take home immediately.
Oh yeah, the direct deposit to my account. I submitted that day, gets approved on the spot, and that's what I love. It's approved on the spot, And what's it? And then I want. Sometimes I tell these guys, like, I don't even go to sleep till about 1:30, right? PST.
And you get paid.
And then like I wait for the email to say America Daily Update, $1,000, $3,000. Today I got a $400 override, which is passive income, just from one of my agents, and we'll get into that of what he sold yesterday. I'll tell you guys more, after Marco goes, of what he sold yesterday because of one lead, and the override I got today just because of that.
How's that feel?
It's passive income. We used to have a lot of misconceptions. They used to tell us, you're never gonna override over there. All these things.
At Family First Life, you're never gonna override.
Yeah, they would say at FFL, Family First Life, there's no overrides. They're gonna sell forever. And I'm talking to guys that are saying like, hey, yeah, I built an agency, and they're $1 million agency, $2 million agency, and they're not selling anymore. They have an agency, so it feels good because I proved them wrong, the industry wrong, of saying, hey guys, like there's lies and misconceptions out there. Do your own research. But a lot of people will listen to the upline, I guess you could say, of what another company is. But obviously someone's not gonna say that person is a better person than me. No, they can't say that, But it's true. There's overrides here,
So just like normal.
1,000% normal, and my override was $400. If I have 10 agents doing that, that's $4,000 in override,
A day.
A day, yeah, and that's so possible because of the simplicity of the leads, of agents going out there on the field, closing on the spot, and us getting paid the next day.
Cool, man. Good work.
Yeah.
All right, Marco. What made you decide to work with FFL?
So, I remember at a previous experience in the industry, I had this was like 3 years ago. I had just gone on this like broker run, this broker promotion, where we had to do all these different things to get to a 75% contract, and that was kind of like a big contract at that spot. And I came across an ad, a Family First Life ad or a video, and it said starting 100% or something like that. So
and the top is 145.
Yeah. And I was like, but how, like, starting is 100%? To me, like, that seems so fake. So I clicked on it, and I got some information on it, and I didn't go through with it because it just seemed fake. I was like, I did everything that I just did, and I only got a 75, so I don't have to do anything. I just start with you guys. It costs nothing, and I start at 100%, and we get daily pay, and there's leads, meaning there's clientele that want me to talk to them about insurance, service them, versus me going over there and saying I'm going there
What would you
for
rather do? Work leads or bug your Aunt Sally to buy another policy?
no, dude, leads all day, all day. Like not like this past Thanksgiving, I was just over there, and I was just like, I'm
Were
not
they
gonna.
waiting for you to pitch them on a policy?
They know I left already, so it's like no, they weren't. They weren't. It was cool. Everybody got more friendlier though. Like my family,
I
like
bet.
it's crazy. But that's what it was for me. So 3 years ago, that's what it was. Like I knew about Family First Life since then, but I didn't make the switch just because I thought it was fake because I was conditioned to think that something like this is too good to be true. You know how and I remember I brought it up. I brought it up to Tony 3 years ago. I brought it up to other uh, friends of mine at the previous deal that we were at, and I was like, "Hey, look at this. What do you think about this? Look at these numbers. This is crazy." And then we were looking at the company numbers, how much they were issuing, not submitting, issuing. And then we were just like, is this real? Is this real? And then we started asking about it, and people were like, "Oh no, that's fake. It's not true. Like, oh, that company's gonna get shut down. They're not gonna make it. There's no way. It's like it's not sustainable." That's what they were saying, right? Well, 3 years go by. People come into the office where we were at the previous deal, Alondra and Josh, and they leave that company and they come over here, and everybody started talking about it, and I was just like, in the back of my mind, I knew exactly that it was this company, Family First Life, the one I came across a few years back. And so when I seen them killing it, making $100,000 in deposits to their bank account,
They showed you that?
yeah, well, I asked for it, so I was like, yeah, I was like, any,
They said, "Let me see 100K." You said, "Show me the 100K," and they pulled out their bank statement and showed you.
yeah, Josh was like, I was like, Josh, look, I don't want to be weird or anything, dude. Like, I know how it is because like I've been recruiting people and I do the same thing, but let me see it. And then he shows me like, and I bank with Chase too, so I know how the account
So
looks
you
in
knew it
Chase.
wasn't fake.
Yeah, so I was like, dang, like at this point, like, and I
And
was
what was
just
it? 100,000 in deposits?
yeah, a little bit over that, a little bit over 100,000 in deposits. And what I was just so tired of, I was so tired of that revolving door that Sean always talks about, where you bring in a bunch of people, you make a bunch of spread on them for a little bit until they quit because they can't make any money off of what they're selling. They're selling, they're working hard, they're busting their butt, but because they don't keep anything, and then maybe some chargebacks hit, they quit, and then you're left with all this mess, and you got to go out there and go find some more people and do it all over again. So it's just this cycle that's like this, and it's just mentally draining.
Yeah, I worked for 4 or 5 years, and I was losing people all the time, and it was so exhausting, man. And I love the model of you have high comp. If you work, you're gonna make money, and if not, it is what it is. But I don't want to spend a bunch of energy with people trying to convince them to keep trying when they're not making money. You
Right,
know?
right. And that's the craziest part about it. And the thing here is that you really give a shot to the newest person to really make it and make money from day one, right? Because in the same amount in those same 40, what did you say, 49 days?
40.
He's made more money than me in those 49 days, and he's my downline, and he's made more money than me, right? Because he has sold more business than me, right? At the other company, that's like your new agent. The spread is so high. Even if he would have produced this, if we take the same amount, the same numbers that were done, right, and you plug that into where I was at before, I would have got paid more than him, and he produced more than I did, but I still would have made more just because of the spread. So then, does Patino still go get that apartment in Long Beach? Does he still have all that money in his bank account? No. So what does it make sense for him to continue? Maybe, maybe not. And then that's how I could lose a guy like that. But over here, you see how happy he is. Nothing's gonna.
Patino's a boss.
That's what I'm saying. Like it just makes a lot more sense, and I think that's fair. It's more sustainable. You don't have. It's not this thing that's like this. It's just a real sustainable business that really gives a shot at everybody, and it's just everything's just great. Everything so far. The leads. I love working with leads because, like you said, you don't have to bug people about insurance. Like I don't have to hit up my friends. Like what's crazy about it is at in the industry, a lot of people when they work in like the those other types of MLM network marketing companies, what happens is like you start to look at every person that you come across in your life as like a potential business partner or a client. Like everybody you come across, at the back of your mind, you have this um, thing in your mind, like, okay, I can get something from this person, or I want to recruit this person, or I want to sell them a policy. So you build this like friendship that's really only there for to see what you can get out at the end of it. And I feel like here you don't have to do that at all, like at all, because you have the clientele to keep you making your money, and so you can dump money back into your business to scale it and grow it. So it's just more sustainable all the way around. That's what I find.
That's cool. All right, so Tony, if you're gonna hire somebody, what do you tell them? What are some of the perks? You go, hey, work here because of these reasons. And is it easy to hire?
It's definitely easier to hire. So when I got started, I mean, we had a conversation, and I said, "Hey, look, I'm coming over because I just want to make some money." I got to a point where it wasn't fun anymore, and I got to a point where not everybody around me was making money. I was making money, but not everybody was making money. So I said, "Let me go do this because I'm somebody that I have to buy into before I go tell somebody." So that was exactly what I was going to do, but everybody's reaching out from companies all around, from the entire industry. And not only that, what I love about it is that people are now seeing the transition of my life, my lifestyle. And I'm not talking about the cars, the houses. I'm talking about my lifestyle, more freedom with my daughter, with my family, being able to do more things. So people from the teaching back, from education, from the medical, from law enforcement, everybody's starting to reach out. And they're just like, bro, what's going on? And I'm like, with what? And they're like, we just see you happier. Your posts are so different. You're not posting that you're in the office all the time, that you're in meetings all the time, that you're always working. Like, we know you work, but what are you doing? And I'm like, FFL, right? And they're just like, well, what is that, right? So it just depends whether it's a licensed agent or non-licensed agent. If you're a part of the industry or not, I send them the Shaw Mike video, like 7-minute video. I don't want to shoot them over a 45-minute video of what the industry is about. Shawn Mike's pretty good about doing it pretty quick. And I sent him the irresistible video on Paul McLean. He hits on the points why the freedom, the comp plan he covers from, I know the starting company is a 90%, but you can go all the way up to 145. A lot of times people say, oh, that's just a producing company. I'm like, I don't think you've met Andrew Taylor and his agency, or Paul McLean's, or or Zach's, who we just met today,
Yeah,
right?
whoever said it's only a producing company, that's just like some made up myth or something.
Yeah, and a lot of the times when we did make the switch, a lot of the people still send us messages and we're like, well, you were just a producer. And I was like, with 4 brokers, with a hierarchy. I didn't just produce. I also recruited, and we also built people. So that's a huge misconception of FFL, Family First Life, that you guys don't build. I'm like, they have the largest builders. And
well, it's easy to build because people are making money.
so that's another thing that I wanted to touch on. So it's easier to hire because guys like Patino can come in, and we're just throwing his story because back at where we used to be in the industry, Marco and I were making money, but who around us was making money? So from there, it's a lot easier just to be like, my guy Patino. I have a Yolanda Lucina out of Delano, a small town. She's a business owner. She's an accountant for her family's business as well, 3 kids. And she shoots me a text yesterday morning, and she's like, hey, look at how much I made. And I was like, damn, that's good.
How much?
She made $2,100 just yesterday. And I was
In
like,
deposits.
in deposits. And so I was like,
You know what's crazy, dude? So I started with FFL. I was 25. We did our first month. We came out with like our 8 people. We did like 70,000 for the month. So you guys just did 160, right? Yeah. And then last month we had that small team from just sharing how people get paid, high comp, free training. we did $8.4 million in paid life business. Is that crazy?
That's building.
Wow.
It's a builder.
And then
Yeah.
how long is that? So that was how long
That
ago?
was in a month.
No, but so you did the 70,000 your first month. How long ago was that?
That was 6 years ago.
And in 6 years, your agency is doing 8.4
Yeah.
million issued.
Because Family First Life's only been open 7 years. December 12th of this year, it's the day Family First Life opened 7 years ago. And then I was late to join, so I joined like mid-year, and then we just started getting going. And our first few months, it was 70,000, 80,000. We thought that was a big deal. Now you do 150, and you're like, I mean, it's not
Normal.
nothing, but
You're on track.
It's expected.
I mean, you could do more.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And we have Dave Witchard, who came in, did $1 million a month in issue paid premium in 12 months. And then we got another team that came on that did 500,000 in 2 months. That's cranking.
Wow.
Dang.
And you can't just do that just with one or two producers.
Now,
like
the other
that's
thing,
building.
though, is it almost happened organically because people were getting paid.
Right.
So it was unstoppable. You couldn't stop people from telling other people and showing the commission plan and showing the overrides and showing the free training, and all the conferences are free and all this stuff, you know?
Yeah, so that's another thing that I want to hit on. Not only are the videos online, like just like how Patino, and then when Marco left as well, that's exactly what I did. I was up all night, and I mean, I know you talked to Cynthia, and Cynthia was like, this guy was not sleeping, and I had some time off, from the other company, so what do you think I was doing? Everybody's leaving, everybody's talking about it, and that's probably one of the worst things that they could do. They talk about it all the time. So what did I start doing? I started getting on to the point where if you got on my YouTube channel, you literally just FFL to where Cynthia was like, what are you doing? And I was like, why is Andrew Taylor on all my videos? Right? But it was not only that, the videos are free. They're on there. You don't have to pay to get started to access your videos, your trainings, and everybody else's trainings in the company. On top of that, you didn't have to pay to get started.
And FFL pays for everybody's pre-licensing.
So that's another thing. I have people, again, I just had a nurse message me yesterday. Hey, I'd like to get started. I went to high school with her. And she's like, hey, I want to try this. And I was like, okay, cool. We got on a call. And she was like, how much do I have to pay for the courses? And I was like, just give me your information. I got her started. And she's like, I got an email. You paid $200-something for my courses? I was like, oh, no, the company does. I was like, they get them for you. And she was like, okay, I really like this company. On top of that, our licensing.
Well, the goal was initially, which I thought Sean Mike was a lunatic, because he's like, the comp's so high. And I'm like, I would have came if it was even a little lower. I still would have came,
Yeah.
Then he came out with the bonuses, and he's like, if you do $1 million a month as a team, you get all your overrides and you get $50,000 a month in bonus. That's starting. Then it can go up like $500K a month. I'm like, why did he introduce the bonuses when everyone was happy with the comp? He came out with this. I was like, this guy's crazy. Then I was like, dude, you should charge for the events because the national conferences are expensive. And he's like, I'll never, ever go back on charging for events. We built this company on not taking money from people.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that's actually how Marco and I got connected. So I used to coach Marco basketball. We're from a small town, so you play there, you go back and coach. Well, I was getting a haircut before this big event, this annual event that we were going to go to, that I was told that I have to go or else I would quit. So I go to the barber, he's cutting my hair, and he's like, Tony, why are you so quiet, right? They call me Red. He's like, Red, why are you so quiet? And I was just like, I don't have nobody going with me. Like, I'm definitely going to quit. Like, from what they're telling me, I'm going to quit if I don't take, 3 people with me. So I asked him, hey, who do you know that's pretty sharp, business-minded? He's like, nobody. He's like, you know what? Here's a number. And he gives me Marco's number, but I didn't know it was Marco. So I didn't know
You already knew Marco.
But I already knew Marco, but I didn't know it was Marco. So, I mean, small town, it's 10,000 people. But, they say the greats come from there. So as far as that, I shoot it over to, to my upline. I say, hey, give him a call. Marco comes in, and he's like, Coach Red. And I'm like, oh, damn, this is Marco from McFarland, right? So then he gets started. And then the next day, we go to this annual event, and that's when Marco's pretty much sold to the industry.
Paid like $400 that day to sign up to the insurance industry.
Nice. Cool, man. All All right, Patino, what do you say if you're going to recruit somebody? What are some selling points?
Well, if you're branding it right, and if you're telling people how FFL is, the compensation, the leads, like people need to know that because they don't know how great FFL really is. So a lot of people are reaching out to me. What I'm doing is showing the Rogue IMO video, which explains about the comp, explains the different leads we work with, explains everything. And from the video, they say, okay, what do I need to do to get started? And they probably have one or two questions, and that's it. And they get started with me. But the biggest thing that I did was I had to go make money first. Because me making money, people see that it works, and direct deposits are coming in. So people see that. Now they're interested in opportunity. I tell them about the comp, tell them about the leads. They watch the video, and they say, okay, I'm ready. And then we get them going. So out of the 45, 50 people that have came to me, I haven't had to convince not one person. Before we would have to like yell at them like, come on, you could do this. Like, you have to pay $200, do this. Like, come on board with me, because I was trying to hit a certain promotion.
Hey, can you send us your bank statement?
Yeah.
I want to actually see the -99.
Okay, I posted on my social media.
Drew, we might post that on this video.
Yeah, I posted on my social media the other day, October -99. October deposits was...
And you're going to send the current one saying you have...
everything. I would tell it...
that way people know you're not full of it.
No, and back then, that's how it was. You have to buy a certain car. You have to have a certain belt. You have to have certain everything. But here, the money I've made, I haven't bought no belt. I have my car. I'm buying assets, or I have money saved instead of liabilities. But out of the 50 people, I haven't had to convince anybody because the opportunity at FFL sells itself. So that's pretty much, people are reaching out and I'm getting them going.
Do you want to work with people that are like lazy and kind of like dead weight, or would you rather not work with them?
Before I had to like keep reviving them, like, come on, you could do this. Come on, you could do this. Just to try to get something out of them, But now it's like, okay, you don't want to work? That's even better for me, because I could focus on the people that want to make 10 grand. Like, I have two people that got started with me at around the same time that got their codes. One guy named Manuel Hoven, he issued about 10,500, and another guy, JC Hernandez, his first 30 days issued about 11 grand as well. So I don't have to carry that weight. I have to keep reviving. I have to, come on, you could do this. It's like, hey, if you want to make money from your family, the comp is there. If you don't want to do it, I have guys that do that. I need to put my focus on them. And that's why these guys are making it happen. They're buying leads week to week, dialing, running appointments, closing appointments. And to tell you, one of my guys yesterday, I believe it was, the last day of the week for us. He was at zeros the whole week, right? And one appointment, he bought leads. One appointment, he wrote 12,000 annual premium. 12,000 annual premium.
How much was the lead?
$11. So with that $11 lead, he called it the day before, sat down. He posted on Slack he needed some help with what company to go with. And that's what I love, that on our Slack in FFL, it's like, hey, I'm in this appointment. Can you help me? Where do I go? Which company do I lead to? And you have the help while you're in the appointment, so you don't have to know everything. You just have to know one or two things. And if you need help, you'll call one of us, post it on the Slack. So that's exactly what he did. And then after he got at the appointment, he's like, bro, guess what? I was like, what happened? He's like, I wrote $1,000 premium a month. I was like, no way. He's like, yeah, 12,000 annual premium. And one already got accepted. I'm submitting the other two. So one got accepted with Americo today. He made $3,500 on one of them. Another company got accepted already, right? Just waiting to pay out tomorrow, and then the other one's still in the works. But
so you wait up till 1 a.m. to see your money go through, and then go to sleep.
Well, every day I do. Today I went to Tony's house because he's in Bakersfield. I drove from LA to Baco. It was 1:30. I was like, it's not coming in. I'll wait till the morning, because sometimes it comes in like at 3 a.m.
or 5.
3 a.m., 5 a.m. But I'm expecting to make money. You know how I said, like, I expect to make $1,000 a day.
Once you see that deposit, do you sleep better?
I sleep a lot better. I'm like, okay, or if I don't see it, I wake up and I'm like, all right, let me check my deposit. Because that's just money going to my family. That's just money going to my daughter. Where I was at to now where I'm at, like, it's an exciting thing, and that's what my guys are now doing. So that's why I'm excited. From $11 lead, zeros for the week, 12,000 annual premium, already made 3,500 the next day. That's how quick FFL is. And before we used to say, I remember he posted when I was still over there. He said, "Oh, daily pay, check. I want that." He wrote that. I was like, really? Like, he's really gonna be getting paid daily? And then I still did my research, and I seen highlights of people, direct deposit, stuff like that. I said, okay, I need to make the move, and I need to get paid daily. And it's the best thing in the world, getting paid daily. I don't remember the last day I didn't get paid.
So you think your daughter's Christmas is going to be better than it?
So much better. And I'm talking to people that told me if it wasn't for FFL, I don't think I would have had a Christmas this year. And for me, I've been in it 45 days, and my daughter's a year and a half, right? So Christmas isn't the biggest deal because she's still small. But with parents that have kids 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or whatever age, and they're telling me that they weren't gonna have a Christmas, but because of FFL, like now because of the contract of how daily pay, they're gonna have a Christmas. I had people telling me if it wasn't for FFL, my phone would have got disconnected tomorrow. My rent, and they made 2 to 3 thousand. Hey, I just paid my phone. I told her I've never been so excited for someone to pay their bills. People are always dreading to pay bills, but for me, helping her make that money, I said I've never been so excited for somebody to pay their bills. So not only has it changed my life, but parents that have kids 5, 6, 7 and higher that understand Christmas, and they're looking forward to it already. They know the holidays are coming up. That's the feeling that gets me chills, emotional, of like, man, I'm doing good, and I'm so glad I didn't listen to somebody saying no. The misconceptions about FFL, you're a quitter. They called me a quitter. You folded. You're giving up on me. But my loyalty is to my last name and to my daughter. You know, and for me, that's why I made the move, and I'm so glad I did. Or else all of this wouldn't have happened. I would have
Were
still
you scared?
super, because I said, what are people gonna think of me? I said, and that was the main thing, because over there it was about like a lot of talking about people, what they were doing if their numbers were low. Hey, why are your numbers low? So I said, man, if he left, right, and everybody was talking bad about him, block him, unfriend him on social media. I'm like, man, this guy's my friend. I've known him for 2 to 3 years. We're around the same age, and you're telling me I have to block somebody? I thought I was an entrepreneur, and it quickly switched, saying block him. But I was scared. It was a scary jump. But every time I thought about they're gonna say something about me, I had to think about my daughter, saying if I don't do something now, then my daughter's not gonna we're gonna be in the same position. My daughter's not gonna have the life of like that it is now. And I'm not saying I made it, but it's a whole different position from where I was at before.
What about you? Was it scary for you, and how did it feel after once it was done?
I don't think it was scary. I think it was more, like I talked to you about, I think I was more torn about the decision to leave where I previously was at. And
So I was scared to leave to Family First Life because I had a bunch of friends at my old company.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was like hurting them. And then I realized I wasn't making money. I wasn't getting what I needed to get out of it. And so I need to be loyal to me and my family first. And then when I made the move, I was like, why did I care?
Yeah, I can see why you say that as well. So for me, it was when Marco left. There was rumors that I was hanging out with Marco. That instead of helping my team, I was hanging out with Marco, and he's with another company. So for me, I saw my close friends, the people that I was loyal with, etc., that would stay at my house, and them block me, stop talking to me. So that transition for me, it was a decision of, am I going to stay in a toxic environment or am I going to leave? And when I made the decision, I told Cynthia, I'm out.
So
I'm
you
done.
feel the environment at FFL's.
Oh, it's so welcoming, and everybody, when we compete, it's fun. Like, I mean, I was smiling about it. Like, over there was like, people don't like each other if they're competing. Here, it's fun. Hey, where you at? Hey, where you at? Hey, we got to go take, Relentless to another level. Like, hey, I know, Andrew's at 8, but let's go take him to 10. And when we say 10, we're talking about 10 million issued, because things are
Per
just
month.
different. Yep, per month.
All right, Marco, what about you? What would be some selling points if you're recruiting somebody?
Same thing with licensed agents and non-licensed. Well, it's actually kind of the same thing. I kind of just first, if they're licensed already, what I first have them do is I have them watch the Rogue IMO video, and if I know they're from the industry already, I send them 2 videos. I send them aside from the Rogue IMO video, I send them the Why FFL is the best place to build an agency by Sean Mike, and also the Misconceptions of Family First Life by Sean Mike as well. Those 2 videos for industry people are the best because when I have a conversation with them after, it's almost kind of like, okay, so how fast? This is always the conversation, and it's always like this. So how fast does it take to get contracted? When they tell me how fast does it take to get contracted, they've already recruited themselves. So I'm just gonna guide them through the process, and that's really what it is. And then non-licensed people, what I found more success than anything. By the way, I'm always posting on social media every single day. Before at the other company, I would always post how much money I was making. Now I'm just posting all the new agents that are brand new industry or not making sales and how much money they're getting deposited. And I'm just posting that.
And people are calling you.
Yeah, people are just reaching out and then we just plug them into the courses, tell them, hey, look, you got to get licensed. It works like this. I'll get on a call with them and I'll tell them, look, take out how much. They'll be like, how do you get paid? How does it work? I'm like, take out your calculator and say, okay, look, the average sale in insurance is around $100 a month. And it could be more, it could be less depending on what it is. But I just say $100 a month. I make them do the math on how much they'll make if they make a sell. And I said, okay, can you do 4 of that in a month? Yeah, is that more than your job? Yeah. Well, if you keep doing that, you'll be able to do this full time. Or if you want to do this part time, just do that part time. But that they kind of see like a visual of how much they can make, and then I just put them into pre-licensing, and then from there, while they're doing that, I'll send them like videos that I see from producers that have stories of like, oh, I don't come from insurance, but I'm killing it, and I'm like I'm always watching FFL videos because if I see a video that I know will spark something in somebody that's brand new, not from the industry, I want to have it at my disposal. So if I need it, I could just send it to them, and I know that's gonna, if they're the right person.
So you're using all these as tools.
Heck yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I leverage everything, and it makes it so much easier because now my time when I'm on a call with somebody to recruit them,
You don't have to.
it's all.
All right. So if you guys are building an agency, so if someone wants to work with you guys, they can call you.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Why don't you give everyone your numbers? That way, if someone goes, "Hey, I'd love to work with one of these guys on here," they can call you or text you right now.
Yeah, it's 661-304-8352. Marco
Marco what?
Trujillo.
Trujillo.
So mine is 562-278-6425, Jose Patino.
And someone could call you and go, "I'm in the industry or I'm not, and I want to work with you," and you'll pick up and you'll help them.
Yep, 1,000%. If they want to work, you know.
But if they don't want to work, then you don't want them to call you.
I don't want to do CPR no more.
No, there's a few other companies for that.
And then mine is 661-889-2450. You could also reach me at Tony Rojas _relentless at IG.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.